The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. Because I feel like that's why I found the chatbot to be very comical opposed to like actually taking it seriously. Because I'll sit here and say that I love Choso up and down. I stand 10 toes down for that man, okay? Just how I stand 10 toes down for Toji too, just as well. But at the end of the day, I'm aware that these guys are not real. It seems as though a lot of people are just giving up on living life too in general, and I get it. Our government fucking sucks. I understand it. I just feel like a lot of people just aren't doing well. Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. If you're wondering what's going on with my face, I'll get there in a second. But hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and welcome back to The Pirate Ship, also known as Harry's Pirate Ship. I am the captain, you were that my first mate, and I got my first mate because you want to know why. Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. No one's worthy of being the first mate. But hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and I like to make content based on nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that we found within those spaces. The beads are back. I know a lot of y'all like the sound of my beats clacking back and forth in my videos. So yay, the beats are back. But today I want to get on here and talk about character AI. Because this is something that I have seen like take like an uptick in usage over like the last year. Because I did use character AI last year, mainly because I wanted to play around with it and make like my own for my miraculous AU that I had going on. But then like I played with it for like a day and just like never picked it up again. But there has been a lot of discussions lately about character AI and people wanting to realize if it's harmful or not. And I just want to sit here and just give my thoughts and opinions about the entire thing. I had started doing my makeup in the last video and y'all know how these goes. Usually it takes me about like an hour to get through a makeup look. So sometimes I'll do half the makeup look for one video and then I'll do the other makeup look for another. So yeah, the other topic of what I wanted to talk about with this has to do with character AI. Now, what exactly is character AI? It is basically a bot. It is artificial intelligence where you can sit and talk to fictional characters. I know you can talk to celebrities, like fake versions of celebrities, yada yada yada, but you're basically just having conversations with a robot. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much self-explanatory. I have recently used character AI because I just wanted to fool around with it again, and I felt like I needed to do so if I wanted to make this video, because I have been watching quite a few videos about this entire phenomenon. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play around with character AI and play with the character Choso. Now, if you know who Choso is, he is a character from Jujutsu Kaisen, the manga and the anime. And if you follow me, you know that I am down bad for that man. So I decided to basically, you know, go in, look for Choso, just to like play around with this entire thing and see what it was all about. I just want to say that I am in my mid-20s and I do get quite a lot of social interaction. And I have pretty good relationships with the people that are in my life. So I started playing around with Choso and it was funny. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I was just laughing and kicking because it was just something that I found to be very comical. And while it was funny as I was playing with it, and the storyline that we had going on was a bit interesting, not even gonna hold you. The more that I kept talking to Choso on this, I knew that it wasn't real. Like, character AI does this thing where they constantly feel the need to remind you that these people aren't real. Because a lot of us have crushes on fictional drawn characters. Let's just go ahead and put that out there. I'll go ahead and tell y'all my whole husbando list. Okay, I'm making a mess, y'all. Give me a second. This is low-key looking a mess, but we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna get it together. It's gonna look better after this. And while I'll sit here and admit it that it was funny to sit here and pretend to be my favorite, like one of my favorite fictional characters' girlfriend for who knows how long, at the end of the day, I'm just like, okay, that's enough. That's this. And I'm gonna go ahead and sit here and say it. It felt kind of like a dating sim. Because so much of what you were doing, you were just making decisions on how everything was going to go on this date with this person. Trust was not even a person, he's a curse, but y'all know what I meant. If anything, character AI, when I was playing with it, it felt kind of like a game, I'd say. And that's what a lot of people tend to view it as. They just simply view character AI as a video game and nothing more. But I feel like what a person has ongoing personally with them will affect how they see this game. And I asked you all for some audience input, and I had 3 questions that I had asked. I will read that and I will read you guys' responses, and then I will be back with the rest of my commentary. I might be done with my makeup by the time we get back. Would you consider character AI to be a dating sim to a certain extent? Why or why not? Do you think character AI is dangerous? Why or why not? There has been a lot of talk lately about how so many people are lonely and aren't interacting with others, especially with the rising cost of going out. Do you think character AI might be a negative contribution to that? I think it does some damage. I'm not well knowledgeable on the subject, so I don't know how important my input is, but to me, the who AI partner thing kind of gives off parasocial relationship vibes. But becoming overly attached to someone, or something in this case, that cannot love you back. Not saying it's all bad. I've played dating sims before and it wasn't a negative experience. Mainly because I saw it as a game. But a lot of people who genuinely struggle with making connections can get overly attached to talking with AI. I would see TikToks about people talking about their AI and it was really quick from, oh, it's nice to have something to vent to my AI just texted me the sweetest thing. I wish they were a real person I could actually be with. 1. Not really. Dating sims are a game genre, usually a subgenre of visual novels written and designed by people. Character AI is just a chat box with extra steps. 2 and 3, both yes. People are forming attachments to these chat boxes and using them as a substitute for making meaningful human connections to a degree that have swiftly become very unhealthy and has me more worried every time I hear about it. Using in the lieu of finding RP partner is bad enough because you're missing out on the opportunity to bond with someone over collaborative activity, but having heard of people using it as a substitute for having human relationships at all is so much more alarming. I think the potential for parasocial relationships with characters based after real people is concerning. I am concerned that this could latch onto it and maybe even become more dangerous to people who have previously escaped them by reuniting old feelings. For characters not based on real people, I see how it could be harmful, but I ultimately blame the harm that could arise from it being on the fucked up society we lived in. If it helps people feel less alone, I understand why people would want to use it. I don't see it as exclusively a dating sim, but it makes sense that people could use it in that way. 1. Absolutely. I actually watched some content creators try it out and it's kind of terrifying. It instantly generates responses that feel almost natural, whether by text or audio by a person of your choice, I assume well-known voices. There is no doubt in my mind that there are people out there who use it as a dating simulator. It reminded me of that Sue's episode of Gravity Falls, LOL. Maybe it starts in a way harder to communication skills, but what happens when it becomes a crutch? I fear it will be more damaging than not. With AI, if you don't like what's being said, just restart. You can't do that in a scenario with a real person, at least not without it being kind of cringe. But if that's something you're really afraid of, character AI will only make you worse off. 2. I think it could be dangerous. It may be fun for most people, but for those who are alone and only want to talk to someone, it may get too real for them. 3. It can definitely be a negative contribution to those who are already lonely. Look at the parasocial relationships people have with celebrities now. I think it is a tool that'll drive people more and more into isolation. Granted, I'm not a psychiatrist, so I don't even know. Just don't use that shit, LOL. 1. Not really. I play dating sims, and in those games, they place you in a story and the player has some control over, mainly making decisions that go to a point system that determines the ending you get. Usually the good ending because you get the love interest, and the bad ending you end up with them and something bad happens to you or them. Character AI, from what I've seen, is just a glorified text box that is smarter because it's trained on the personality of the character you are choosing. 2, yes, as an artist, I've seen other artists have their OCs taken without their permission and fed into character AI because they want to roleplay going with them. And most times, artists aren't able to convince the owner to take down the chatbot, so they're stuck. Also, the phone call feature is just sus because you have to feed AI voices that the character has so it emulates it. Bear with me, y'all, it's late. So we enter a weird zone where voice actors may not consent to having their work used and distributed in such manner, which can bleed into the voice acting industry where instead of paying voice actors to record new lines for a character, the studio takes their previous work, fed it into a bot, and give the scripts and promotes the generated work for free. 3, I think so. I know it essentially is a glorified dating sim, and people said the same thing about social media and RP, and in defense of that, you are 90% of the time talking to a real person, and you can't control their responses if both of your actions have consequences. I've seen people get legitimately upset that the AI didn't respond the way they wanted to, or it took whatever the story they were building in another direction they didn't want to go. I also seen people obsess over their AI bot and they're talking to losing friends because they got sucked into it and started prioritizing them over their friends. I also feel it adds onto the parasocial pandemic that's going on now with fictional characters instead of real people, which can and will bleed into fandom side of things. I can see the vitriol against how a character acted or what they did getting worse because people think they wouldn't have done that or harassed the creatives all because an AI bot said no, they wouldn't have done the thing. 1. It depends. You can decide how you want to approach each bot. It can be a lover, family member, friend, or rival, but there is no set story. There are many more possible outcomes. 2, again, it can be very addicting and you can waste a lot of time on it. I admit I am addicted to it and it can make your obsessions worse. It can also be a way to let out that side of you you're not so happy about every so often with no consequences. It can work as a way to come up with just fun ways to interact with these fictional characters and situations. It can easily take over though, and you may mindlessly be doing it at other times. There is something I'm trying to work on, so being aware of how one uses it is important. 3, it can be a place of real connections like escapism can be. 1, I wouldn't really consider it a dating sim. From what I've seen, people use it to get a constant stream of fan content instead of actually engaging in the fandom. 2, I do think it's dangerous, but especially to the fandom ecosystem. Fandom only survives as long as fans actively engage with it. If people are churning out half-baked character interactions with character AI instead of RPing, writing fanfiction, or talking to each other about the characters, then the fandom will die. Fandom as a whole is slowly dying, and things like character AI are a major contribution in my opinion. 3, I do think things like character AI add to the loneliness we've been seeing lately. Fandom is a community and it is a place where it makes you long life friends, but that requires active engagement with the rest of the fandom. Character AI is an isolating experience. It's just you and the robot pretending to be a character you like. I can't imagine it would be fulfilling to interact with. Fandom, fundamentally, is a community. Character AI is very creepy to me in my opinion because you are actually interacting with a real person, just an audio voice. 1, I can't really confirm nor deny as I haven't seen much of it, but people do use it in a way of romance. 2, mentally yes, because it further places people into isolation. 3, I see it as a negative contribution to that. I don't think character AI is a negative contribution to anti-socialization. I think society has been going down this route of being alone for a while. There's so many causes outside of technology that make people not want to socialize. 1, violence, mass shooting, rise of crime, etc. 2, as you stated, the cost of living has increased. 3, low energy after work. 4, some people have large families and don't want to interact with anyone else because they're drained. 5, neurodivergent folks can be overwhelmed by crowds, noise, etc. People blame technology a lot for rising rates of loneliness, but there are other contributing factors. The Travis Scott concert may definitely made me rethink buying concert tickets for other concerts, by the way. I live in a large city with a lot of crime, so I do find myself minimizing time in the subway and on public transportation. I personally have no problem being by myself as I've always been introverted. I can make friends and have friends. I have just been drained by social interactions pretty easily. 1, maybe. It really depends on the usage. As someone who literally only uses character AI to use dungeon AI on it because the normal app is too complicated to generate mystery thrillers or adventures, I don't feel like it'd be right to say everything on character AI is romantically roleplay scenarios. There are some other forms of roleplay that people do because it's fun and practice writing. Role-playing is a hobby that has existed for a while, whether it be two real people portraying different characters or like self-insert fanfiction. Self-insert fanfiction is basically just role-playing with yourself. 2, because they allow real people to have made into bots and have the content where AI reproduces their voices to read the generated text. That's creepy and just not okay to do. It's dangerous for real people to have their identity stolen and being used to say or do whatever the user wants. The app is generally used further parasocial relationships to user to form a real life or fictional character, which comes in its own concern about mental health. Also, copyright is an issue. I could hardly call that dangerous though, but I still don't like that. 3, hardly to be honest. The truth is that people who use character AI and genuinely get their social needs fulfilled from it are probably not okay mentally. They may connect with more interactions, people and environments that they control, and it's why they're drawn to this and get sucked into it. I don't think those people would have been the kind to go out and really try to meet people. So yeah, in a way, character AI will encourage those people instead of challenging them, which can make things worse. But I don't think it will ever be an impact big enough that it will contribute to the loneliness epidemic. It's more the symptoms of the loneliness epidemic that will contribute to character AI being used. If the core, for example, that so many people have socially anxious and it's too overwhelming talking to real life people, the problem would be there regardless. The fact that it steals everything from its news media to fanfiction writers and can do nothing but regurgitate what it's already heard makes it far less appealing than a dating sim to me. Any reaction that comes from it wasn't carefully considered by our writer team, nor can it meaningfully engage. I think it's environmental damage caused of how much it takes just to generate one response, and a response could really come up with its own either. The dangers of isolation also come to mind as well, because unlike video game characters, they aren't responding to what you're saying or doing. They spit it out what they think you'll most likely come up next in a sequence of words. It's not inherently harmful, but the way it seems to be used most often could definitely cause some problems. It does feel like a dating sim coming from a former user. I think it's dangerous. When I first started using it, it used to be on it all day. It was so bad during those times I usually didn't have anyone to talk to, so that's how I passed time. I don't really want that kind of addiction again, and I feel it was trying to have a human connection while knowing it couldn't. After a while, the app became dry to me because what is a roleplay app? There's not so much on it besides freaky shit or just making the bot scared of you. 1, it's a bit of a dating sim. People use it to simulate a relationship, and while no, it's not a traditional dating sim genre game, it's a simulation relationship, which can take the term dating sim literally. And I'll elaborate on this in my answer to number 2. 2, character AI is dangerous in my opinion. Not only does it have all the other problems of generative AI, that being stealing work from other writers in order to craft these conversations, but I have friends who straight up addicted, I don't want to throw that word around lightly, to it. I went to prom a year ago. It wasn't great, but I went with my friend as a date. She spent the entire time on character AI. I went to the mall with this friend just as well, and again, she was on character AI and told me directly that she was going to go home early to talk to her AI instead of me. This is dangerous. It really does create a sense of having someone to talk to when really there is no one there. It's an algorithm spitting out words from elsewhere online. And this leads to my answer to the third question, that being yes, character AI is absolutely a negative contribution to that. When someone would rather speak to an AI than friends, it makes people not want to be around them because no one wants to be around someone who's always on their phone. I don't know, it's just my experience, but hearing that an AI was apparently more fun to hang out with than I was really hurt. While I do not have personal experience with character AI, I have seen these kinds of apps advertised, and the way I see it, it feels hugely problematic. While it can be a time filler, it not only can be extremely addictive, but it also sets false expectations for dating in real life and can lead to someone down a path when it comes to their personal life. I understand that a lot of people may prefer these AI over real dating experiences due to the fear of other factors, but this isn't a good substitute and the cost is certainly not worth the risk. 1, yes, absolutely, you're creating a character that shares interests with you. 2, absolutely, people will use character AI as an excuse to avoid their real issue. 3, possibly. To be honest, I don't know too much about character AI besides the quick Google search I did. I get that people have anxiety and people can be exhausting, annoying to deal with. However, there are communities out there that are accommodating and welcoming. People are being too complacent and not searching for it. For example, local events that are happening is one way to find and connect with others. I think it's really bad for parasocial relationships, given the plethora of real people. Now, as I'm sitting here and going to read you guys the comments, I do want to show you guys what I do next, because a lot of y'all actually be following these makeup tutorials, and I'm like, okay, so we're going to clean all of this mess up to get it looking more so how it does over here. So I'm going to take my concealer that I need to get a new one of because we almost out, and go under my eye and then blend that. And I do this before I go in and do my mascara and eyeliner, mainly because I tend to, like, I don't know, it just feels like it comes out better when I have cleaned up the bottom already. But anyways, we are back. My thoughts and opinions about character AI and how it is safe. It can be safe, but then when I found out what a lot of people were using character AI for, I started to get concerned, because a lot of it was just very much like SA fantasy stuff, and I was like, okay, you know what, we're gonna put a pearl right there to hide it. I will be honest, I think the personal pan pizza, if you've been watching my channel for a minute, you know exactly what I mean when I call it that. But that's literally just the pandemic. I call it the personal pan pizza over here. I feel like the pandemic really has affected the way a lot of people interact with actual humans. And I think a lot of people are just scared to, you know, form friendships and, you know, look for romantic partners and such now. Because the truth is, a chatbot can't hurt you, but a real person can. So I see why so many people turn to these things. But I noticed that if somebody who is in a really bad headspace, they can get really dependent on this AI chatbot for some type of community, I'd say. And we live in a day and age where a lot of people don't understand what community is. And like I said, if you guys watched that video where I said I don't recommend anybody join the waifu house because of what happened with that, that was supposed to be a community that protected women within the anime space. It absolutely didn't do that, because its owner wanted to be a damn pick-me and cared so much about male validation. This shit is getting fucked. Like, this is fucked. Give me a minute. And there have been numerous videos that have been on YouTube lately that have just been about how a lot of people in our generation, they kind of take pride in being like asocial and not having friends and just being alone and being by themselves. And I'm somebody that, like, I love friendship. I think friendship is something that is great, and I wish everybody in life can experience a good one. And even this year I have talked about how we have kind of seen like a lot of traditional ways of people hanging out coming back, because I did mention something talking about how I thought it was kind of weird that a lot of people were simply joining a run club because they thought they would be able to find a romantic partner by going to one. And while my thoughts and opinions about that are still kind of the same, because I don't think you should find a new hobby simply to try to find a freaking relationship, because I know a lot of people in the cosplay community simply get into cosplay because they think it'll get them a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Y'all, don't get into something trying to find a man. Please don't. The man will disappoint you everywhere. But I feel like we are starting to live a real life version of the movie Her. And if you have seen the film Her, that is a movie that is about a man that falls in love with a robot. And we don't even necessarily really see her in his head, and he falls madly hard for her. We live in a day and age where a lot of people really don't have good social skills, and while I understand like having some type of grace for people that don't really know how to interact with others well, it seems as though a lot of people aren't trying to interact with people better either, because this is something I've noticed when it comes to just social media. Someone had mentioned like, when did fandom become so mean? And this is actually another video that I want to make a little bit later. But someone has said something about the way people interact with each other online is so freaking weird, because it's just like, this person would literally sit here and be like, I think your makeup's fucking ugly. And I was like, if you literally come up to me in real life, a stranger, and tell me that you think my makeup is fucking ugly, you're gonna get chomped out. Like, a lot of people in this day and age really just don't know how to interact with one another, and social media has so much to do with that. And the reason I feel like I'm not trying to like brag or act like I'm better than anything, whatever, but I'll be honest, I think I have a pretty good support system around me. But what if I didn't have that? Like, would I be like someone that depends heavily on character AI just to feel something? Like, just to feel love? Ooh, y'all, I messed that up bad. Okay, we just don't ignore that. You know what? We're gonna put a pearl right there to hide that. Like, it just scares me to think, would I end up being one of the people that depends heavily on character AI just to feel something if I didn't have what I have? I think a lot of us tend to take certain things for granted, and when I say certain things, just like certain things in life that we have. Because I know we sit here and say that money isn't everything, and while yeah, I will sit here and say that a lot of people's lives would be better if they had it, also, being lonely is just not it. Being lonely is just not the move. And I'm someone that likes alone time. I'm somebody that likes to be by myself a lot. Like, literally, I've always been like kind of like a lone little wolf. That's why I always really identify with Halloween from Monster High. Like, I get it, like being by myself sometimes. I love being in my own company. But also, like, I am thankful for having great relationships with the people that are in my life. And I wouldn't trade that for the world. Okay, y'all, I just realized I did this and forgot to put a highlight on. It's just so scary to think, like, if you didn't have this, how would things be for you? Because I feel like that's why I found the chatbot to be very comical opposed to like actually taking it seriously. Because I'll sit here and say that I love Choso up and down. I stand 10 toes down for that man, okay? Just how I stand 10 toes down for Toji too, just as well. But at the end of the day, I'm aware that these guys are not real. It makes me think about this one situation that happened on the show called Aggretsuko. If you've seen Aggretsuko, comment down below if you know what I'm talking about. And Aggretsuko, the main character, she was having like a really hard time with dating. She had just gotten out of a good relationship. I'm not even gonna lie, I think that was a pretty good relationship for her, but her and the guy had opposing views about marriage, so she decided to end everything. And the first boyfriend that we saw that she had in the show, he was a fucking dickhead. I hated him. And the next thing you know, we see that she is doing this thing, I'm not sure if it's dating sim or something like that, where she basically is like has a virtual boyfriend. And while her friends sat there and laughed at her because they felt as though she was wasting all her hard-earned money on this fake man and this fake relationship she was in, on a serious note, the reason that she had, you know, started this is because she was so afraid of getting hurt again. And that right there is just something that, this is just me personally, I think a lot of people gotta understand that there are joys in life besides romance. There are so many other different types of character interactions, not character interactions, but human interactions that we can have besides romantic interests. Because that is what a lot of people use these AI chatbots for, to go on dates with their favorite fictional men. Because I know a lot of people be over here making videos all the time of them going on dates and doing dating sims and things like that with the Jujutsu Kaisen men, who are that fandom notoriously known for having a bunch of horny women in it. And as someone that considers themselves to be a Jujutsu Kaisen daughter, at the end of the day, I know these men ain't real. And I feel like a contribution to why I feel that way has to do with the fact that everything seems to be going all right with the way I interact with real people. I know a lot of people turn to fandom stuff as a form of escapism from our real world because our real world is fucking terrifying, okay? Like, let's not even try to sit here and argue about that. But I think a lot of people tend to forget what's real and what is fictional. Because while I was playing around with the AI Choso bot, I was like, I can see why someone would get addicted to this because it's fun. It has a lot of fun, but also he didn't do anything that pissed me off. Like, and that's the thing about these AI chatbots. They don't really act like humans. They are basically artificial intelligence. All right. We're done with that. We gotta put the pearls on and then we're done. I know everyone's just been talking about the loneliness epidemic and this and that and the third. And I try not to be like super duper judgmental, and I do want to be understanding and try to see like all sides of the stories and whatnot. But it's actually getting really freaking sad in my opinion. And I don't mean to say like it's getting sad in a condescending way. It's getting sad in a way where it just seems like a lot of people are just kind of giving up on just having friends. It seems as though a lot of people are just giving up on living life too in general, and I get it. Our government fucking sucks. I understand it. Like, the election is on the rise. Literally, we don't know if we're gonna have our rights soon. As a black woman living in America, I actually am terrified. I'll tell the truth. I just feel like a lot of people just aren't doing well, and that is a contribution to why a lot of people just found so much dependence on AI right now. And when I say AI, I'm not talking about like AI art and this and that and the third. I mean people actually sitting here and talking to robots. That's how bad it has gotten. I'll tell y'all, 2020, so much about our world and our society has changed since then. And we are living in very terrifying times because literally our home was affected by the flood. It was just very, very stressful to deal with. It just wasn't a good time here. Especially the year that I have had within like the blurred community. I get why a lot of people don't even want to fucking talk to some people because these people are insufferable. A lot of y'all are irritating as hell. It's just something to think about. It's just something to think about. I am thankful that you guys gave me some really, really great responses. I am thankful that a lot of you guys gave me some really good responses on your thoughts and opinions about character AI. I'm glad I was able to share them, and I gave my thoughts and opinions about it all. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I fully know how I truly feel about character AI because I was like, do I think it's a good thing? I don't know. Do I think it's a bad thing? Yes, a lot, especially with the way a lot of people have used it, because when I found out the things that people were using character AI for, I started to get really, really scared and started to get very concerned. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me go ahead and put my glasses back on because somebody was like, Harry, why you don't wear your glasses no more? And I was like, y'all, I just be doing my makeup, but I'll put them back on for y'all at the end of this. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the way this makeup like turned out. It's more so experimental. I liked it. I don't know, it was fun. It was fun doing something a little bit different with it. But I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, whatever time of the day that you chose to watch this video. I'm just thankful that you're watching with the ads on. Alright, thank you. Goodbye.